We have 1 more minute to start. Good evening, Miss Debbie.
Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's already 6:30, so we'll start.
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Before we dive into our session proper, I'd like to invite everyone to join us in prayer. After the prayer, we'll proceed with the land acknowledgement, followed by a few housekeeping reminders to ensure we have a smooth and productive session today. Let's center ourselves and prepare for this meaningful discussion. By the way, if there are no objections, we'd like to let you know that we'll be recording this session. Achar, please lead a prayer.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for coming to our Q&A session. Now, to start off, let us please bow our heads and feel the presence of our Lord. Lord God, we come before you with grateful hearts, thanking you for this opportunity to gather online despite our busy schedules. We acknowledge your goodness and ask for your presence to guide us throughout this session. Please grant us strength, wisdom, and understanding, especially to our speaker, Miss Debbie, as she shares her knowledge with us. Bless the host, the attendees, and our entire community, that we may all learn and grow together. We ask that you fill this space with your peace and clarity, helping us to absorb the lessons shared and to use them for the greater good. May this session be fruitful, enriching, and inspiring for all. We offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
And followed by the land acknowledgement, Char.
Okay. So we acknowledge and respect the Lekwungen speaking peoples on whose traditional territory we stand on today, and the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wisanich peoples whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day.
Thank you for the Char. And flashed on the screen is the flow for today's discussion. Arvid, could you please flash on the screen? Okay.
Very cool. And before we dive into that, first and foremost, we want to thank you, Miss Debbie, for giving time for this. I know it's a very short notice, but we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're a blessing to all of us. And also, I just want to quickly advertise that this year UPC is introducing new information programs that would help provide guidance to our members. So we have the Launch and Learn, where we invite speakers and have lunch, an in-person meeting. So the second one is the Log and Learn. Katulad nito wherein we meet online to talk about pressing concerns of our community. So we hope to see you participating in these programs, and the Lunch and Learn is going to happen soon. It's going to be by next month, and we're going to be posting it on our UPC page, and your batch reps will definitely advertise it on your GCs. Thank you.
So going back to our topic tonight, I'm sure that for many of us, one of the biggest reasons we chose to come to Canada as international students was the opportunity to bring and permanently live in this country with our spouse and family. It was a significant factor in our decision-making process. So, when the IRCC announced changes on the PGWP and SOWP extensions, it felt like a door had been closed on that dream.
In this session, we're here to discuss the latest immigration changes. I know na everyone's just anticipating on this kasi linggo-linggo may announcement si IRCC. So, we're gonna talk about who's affected, ano nga ba tong changes na to, and most importantly, what options do we have moving forward, especially to the ones who just graduated and were about to get their PGWPs. And for us na matitira who are going to be graduating late this year, or early next year, or next year. So ano pwede natin gawin? Lahat yan and more, we're gonna talk about with Miss Debbie. Again, Miss Debbie, walang hanggang pasasalamat sa'yo for the very short notice and you're still, available for us. We are definitely honored to have you with us today to help us, navigate through these changes.
Thank you so much for Miss Debbie, for heeding to our cry for help and for your kindness in sharing your time and your talent with us and for taking time to do this session. It means a lot to us, the University of Victoria Philippine community. Napaka-fortunate po namin to have an immigration consultant to answer our questions and Filipino pa. So definitely, naintindihan ni Miss Debbie ang mga hinaing as temporary residents in Canada. Miss Debbie, do you want to say something or before we start with our Q&A session, please?
Well, thank you so much for for the introduction, and thank you guys for this. This is also an opportunity for me as well. So thank you for having me, and yeah, hopefully this night would be a night now we all of us could share our maybe my insights and maybe some of your insights because at the end of the day, it's a new announcement. Although I'm an RCIC, I would definitely learn something from you guys. So I'm also looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Debbie. So now to kick off today's discussion, we're gonna start addressing some critical questions. So the first question is, most, if not all of us, are towards the end or in the middle of our programs and will be applying for a PGWP in a few months. So it means na hindi aabot Miss Debbie dun sa deadline ng IRCC, which was yesterday, January 21. So the question mainly here is, how will these changes announced by IRCC affect us as students and those who have spouses here and those who have minor and adult children?
So just to clarify, everyone who is who will be applying for PGWP will be affected. Okay, it's past January 21. So all of us na hindi pa nag-a-apply ng PGWP and merong spouse will be affected. So if you guys are so those people who will be applying for PGWP in the coming days or even in the coming month will have to make sure na meron silang tier 0, tier 1, or selected few tier 2 and tier 3 occupations. And for those people, for those students transitioning to a PGWP, yung mga dependent children nyo, they are not affected. If, only if, kung hindi sila mag-a-apply ng work permit. Okay? But those, before kasi, kapag meron kang dependent child and that child is, working age na, pwede ka sanang mag-apply for your child ng work permit. But because of the announcement, that is not possible anymore. Okay? And then, other than those, ang kailangan nyo lang i-make sure is when you apply for your PGWP, ideally, you will have to make sure na kasama si spouse. But if, let's say, when you apply for your PGWP pero wala ka pang tier 0, wala ka pang tier 1, wala ka pang tier 2 or tier 3 na occupation, what you can do is mag-apply ka muna ng PGWP mo. Once you have your PGWP, it would give you maybe enough time to get a tier 0, 1, 2, or 3 occupation. So kapag meron ka ng PGWP and you have that eligible occupation, that is when you apply for your spouse's extension.
Okay, thank you for those insights, Miss Debbie. It's really helpful to us to clarify our doubts and queries. So let's proceed with the second question. With the announcement, not only those in Tier 0 to 1 and selected Tier 2 and 3 jobs will be eligible to apply for their SOWP, gaano po ba kahirap humanap ng trabaho in this Tier 0 and 1 and selected occupations? Ano po ba ang mga challenges na dapat namin i-expect and ano po bang strategies na pwede namin gawin?
Right. To be honest, it would be very, very difficult, especially for those people now, let's say they never had a tier zero, they never had like tier one occupation. It would be definitely very hard, right? And of course, forced pa and driven pa with all the changes. So a lot of people will flock to this occupation. So definitely the competition would be very fierce. If you ask me, it will be very difficult. And then if I'm not sure if you know this, but like for tier two and tier three occupations, out of a lot of tier two occupations, only 105 tier two occupations na lang ang eligible. For tier three occupations, there's only 32. So, and then how many employers we have ba, right? So it would be a ratio of maybe of 1:5 applicants.
True.
So it will be very hard. Um, so yeah, it will be very hard.
So yun nga, medyo nahihirapan talaga at pahirapan. So,
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. Next question, Miss Debbie, is some students applied for their PGWP together with their SOWP extension. In which cases po ba mas advisable ang sabay na pag-apply? I think it's related to what you shared during the first question, right? Kailan naman daw po mas practical na mauna muna si student and to follow na lang ang SOWP?
Yeah, Miss Melissa is right. Related siya sa first question, but yeah, just to reiterate, kung halimbawa wala ka pang eligible occupation by the time that you apply for your PGWP, then it's best to apply first for yourself for your PGWP, and then once you have the PGWP and you have the eligible occupation, that is when you extend your spouse's permit. Okay? But just keep in mind that you have 16 months. Kailangan, when you apply for your SOWP, dapat meron kang 16 months. So make sure that, like normally you have 36 months of PGWP, right? So make sure that you still have that 16 months when you apply for your SOWP extension.
oh, okay. So it also applies to us, not just for foreign workers or Lamia workers, right? The 16-month rule.
That's right, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, so let's go to question number 4. So with these changes, stricter PGWP and SOWP rules, plus the reduction of PNP targets, do we anticipate even more policy shifts? Or in other words, awat na ba, uwi na ba, or is this just the beginning? Or should we expect further changes? You have been in the industry for quite some time, so you must have seen a trend being
Okay.
an RCC consultant.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we look at the trend, I don't believe this is the end, right? Especially if, this is driven, let's just say that this is driven naman talaga ng public sentiments and also driven by the upcoming election. So it would be depending on a lot of things, but I feel that there could be even more shifts, and it would be definitely targeting temporary foreign workers and mga international students. So I can give you one para lang clear. For the sake of, giving example. So I have like one sa conservative handbook. If let's say kung ang conservative ang mananalo, let's say I'm not being political, but I've just read this political handbook ng mga conservative party nga na ang affected will be yung mga walang status dito in Canada and those with temporary status. So kapag daw ang gusto ng conservative is if manganganak ka, your child will only be considered Canadian or will be born Canadian if you have a permanent resident status or if you are a Canadian. So that's one. I know that it's parang it's not a direct impact on students and TFWs, but it could impact those people who are planning on giving birth here in Canada. So that's one. And then another one is there could be a stricter DLI requirements. So
Mm,
maybe in the past, 'di ba, we know that mga selected masters program na lang, doctorate program ang eligible,
true.
but PGWP, length of PGWP could be affected later on.
Okay.
And then eligibility ng mga schools ang magiging eligible na lang are those DLI schools who have proven themselves na mataas yung parang employment rate. So parang merong mga ganong
Mhm.
talks sa amin. But I'm not sure if this will be implemented in the coming months, but definitely there would be some more shifts in the coming months.
Oh, so that means parang medyo really pahigpit ng pahigpit sila in coming months, lalo na siguro kung Conservative Party ang mananalo, no? So we really have to brace ourselves for these storms. And you have
Sorry,
mentioned also,
I have to clarify. I'm not against any party. I'm just saying that I've read this in the handbook and
yeah,
it's their plan. Okay.
thank you for those inputs, Miss Debbie. So at least medyo makapaghanda-handa na rin lahat ng mga attendees dito.
Huwag mo na
Although
mauna.
parang mas nakakakaba lalo, no? Yun, mas nakaka-nervyos, Miss Debbie. Pero at least we are all informed. Yun naman yung importante. So that everyone is, I guess, everyone has the chance to actually plan ahead. Especially dun sa mga, well, yung magkukuha din ng PGWP in the nearest future. So we move forward muna, Miss Debbie, dun sa last the top 5 questions. So last question to dun sa top 5, like what ways or options should students consider at this point? So I think it's related din talaga sa mga previous questions, right? So ano po ba yung pwede namin gawin to ensure na ma-extend namin SOWPs namin despite these new rules? Like say for example, is it even possible to request for extension or to write for an extension for your SOWP, or talagang very strict na by the book itong bagong rules ni IRCC na we just really have to follow, and iiyak na lang lahat halos ng mga tao pag gano'n yung nangyari talaga.
This is another sad story, but like immigration kasi they like immigration officer, they don't have that discretion na if iiyakan mo yung letter mo, you will get approved. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So whatever is the policy, immigration officer will have to stick with it. So by saying that, talagang andyan na yan, right? So maybe kung sa strategies na lang, you really have to follow. Like we know that it's a tier 0, 1, 2, or 3 occupation na lang, then you have to align your plans to this policy. Right? So maybe ang ano na lang, so doon na lang tayo sa what can we control, right? So, siguro for those international students na meron pang kaka-start pa lang sa UVic, and
Right.
then nasa business program sila, nasa ano sila, not priority occupations yung program nila. I think if you are just starting and if you still have the chance to switch, do it. Kasi it would be easier for you to get a job if you graduated from a related course or from a related program. That's one. Second, as early as now, check your PR pathways. Baka naman hindi na kailangan umabot sa mag-a-apply pa ng PGWP extension or hindi na aabot sa SOWP extension, right? So like if right now, if you have a good education back home, or if you have good command in English, or if you have good experience, work experience, then use that. Check mo kung ano yung eligibility mo sa PR kasi baka hindi na kailangan mag-extend si spouse, right? If it's not you, maybe your spouse is eligible for PR. So you have to check your options now. Third, para makahanap ng tier, di ba, I've mentioned that there will be a lot of competition. The competition will be fierce. So what you can also do is ganito, get some connection, go networking. If you can volunteer now, meron akong mga kliyente na nagmakaawa sa health authority. Talagang panay volunteer nila. And, after 3 months of volunteering, talagang nakakuha sila ng job. So,
Oh, that's true.
yeah, that can be, connection might help you get the job that you are looking for. And then yun nga, again, you have to target the kung ano yung mga occupations in demand, dun talaga dapat naka-align yung goal mo. And then finally, I'm not promoting myself, but then because of all these changes, halo-halo na, tas mahal pa yung tuition, tas ano
Correct.
pa, ang daming kailangan i-update yung self mo, and it could be overwhelming for a lot of people. So if
Mhm.
you have that, if you feel that you're overwhelmed, I think it's best if you consult someone na talagang alam yung kung ano yung mga changes para, you don't miss out a chance. Maybe you have a chance for PR, or maybe you have kailangan may alignment sa mga goals and mga strategies mo that you don't know because you're not fluent with, immigration regulations. So maybe talking to, I'm not saying me, but I'm in front of you, but talking to an immigration consultant or an immigration lawyer so that you have a better understanding of your situation might help.
Yeah, that's very
Miss
true. I
Debbie.
agree with Miss Debbie. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mia.
Correct. And yeah, just curious lang, Miss Debbie, kasi dun sa mga news, 'di ba?
Mhm.
It just says extension. So it's just for extension only. Paano pag yung new application ng OWP? Wala. And how does it go?
Okay.
Kasi parang existing yung nakikita sa news eh, like existing na nandito na as OWP and all. What if it's a new application for OWP? Does it even apply, or do they even have a chance?
So this same policy applies. Like even if you are like let's say ganun ba nasa Philippines yung yung SOWP, and then it would be their first time applying.
Could be in the Philippines or any other
Yeah.
country. Siguro, Miss Debbie, na ano, yeah.
Yes. So they are still covered by that new policy. So kasi ang titingnan naman is the principal applicant. So even if wherever even if it's the SOWP's first time application, or even if it's an extension, andun pa din yung kailangan tier 0, tier 1, or selected tier 2 and 3.
Got it, Miss Debbie. And Arvin, Eric, do we still have time?
Yeah,
Or I
I
think
do agree with Miss Debbie that we really have to have a good strategy. Nowadays, hindi na pwedeng pa petex-petex na lang. So, dapat pagplanuhan na habang maaga pa. Lalo na yung mga kakasimula pa lang. So, maybe it's really also about time to think of shifting to another targeted or prioritized jobs ni Canada. And to have a better understanding, so I suggest also to consult an IRCC consultant, or to have a better, let's say, understanding and clarity of your options. I myself is a client of Miss Debbie, and she has enlightened me a lot. So parang makakasave ka ng oras at magkakaroon ka ng maraming opportunity kasi mas marami silang alam sa mga pathways at saka mga policies which could help us navigate this stormy times. And Miss Debbie, do you suggest also like if we moved out to another let's say provinces, would it help?
There is, it's not an easy and there's no easy answer to that question. It would be individual talaga profile. Like for a lot of people, like if you're young and you're below 30 years old, you you have a good English exam proficiency, then I would suggest you stay here. If you have a high earning job and you're in Victoria and you have like 5 years of directly related experience, then I would still suggest that you stay here. But like for others, like halimbawa, medyo mababa yung English exam and then they're nearing the end of their PGWP, parang naka 1 year na sila dito but there is no clear path pa din to PR, then I think it would be something that you should consider.
Okay, okay, good. By the way, Miss Debbie, I've also read somehow in some other blogs na parang if in case parang malapit na matapos ang PGWP mo, does it help if you will change like into a nanny or any other home care support worker? Does it really help? Or a Lamia that would accept you?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, it does help kasi it depends kung like for PR pathway, it could help also. Pero more importantly, it could also extend your stay. So if let's say and you're nearing the end of your PGWP and you have an LMIA, then kapag approved na yung LMIA, then you can apply for a work permit extension based on that LMIA. And so if normally you will be given a year or 2 years to be able to stay here to work for that specific employer. And so it would give you a chance to extend your stay.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So we have also some clarifications here. So Miss Debbie, so how long is the study that we can avail as a student right now? Does it have to be 6 months, or if the program will be longer, so we need to have a new DLI or a new LOA?
Yes. So any like even if you are a student permit holder, but you're planning on taking another course, even if it's a 6 months course or even less, I still suggest that you get another student permit. This is unprecedented. I'm not very confident that I am right, but given that very strict na yung immigration, I would rather you get another student permit than risk it, all of it. So even if you are planning on studying for like 6 months in another DLI or even less than 6 months, kuha ka pa rin ng student permit.
Oh, okay. Good. So we have clarified that aspect. So Mia, would you like to read some other questions? Okay, so here's another question. Can you explain the rationale behind the stricter immigration policies and how they might evolve? I think it has already been explained by Ms. Debbie earlier that it's because of the elections
Yeah.
and
And more on public perception. Like there is a cry for kasi sobrang na-feel ng mga Canadians and PRs yung effect ng immigration in terms of housing crisis, in terms
Mhm.
of getting employment, and inflation as well. And they feel that part of the problem is because we accepted a lot of immigrants, we accepted a lot of international students and foreign workers, and that is
Okay.
why we have this problem. And I think this is the bulk of the reason why there is now a stricter immigration policies in place.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that, Miss Debbie.
Any other
We have
questions
some
that
more.
we have? Um, if a student applies for a PGWP and their partner applies for an OWP simultaneously, does the principal applicant's work permit need to be valid for at least 16 months to process the OWP?
So kailangan meron pang remaining 16 months na
Mm.
PGWP in order for the SOWP to be eligible to apply for an extension.
Okay, so is there any clause, Miss Debbie, wherein uh the principal applicant's validity of the visa is no longer 16 months, so there is a big chance that it will get refused for the extension of your OWP,
Yes.
right?
It used to be before kasi it used to be 6 months lang. Like as long as you have 6 months
Mm-hmm.
validity sa principal applicant has a 6 month validity sa permit niya, then he or she can apply for SOWP. But now
Uh-huh.
they extend it to 16 months. Parang they lengthen the requirement to 16 months para mas
Para,
mahirap.
para sure ball na konti lang talaga ang makano, manatili,
Para mas
maiwan sa
mahirap.
Canada.
Yeah.
My God. Oh, there is a question here. What are the changes for incoming international student and their SOWP?
Changes incoming. Okay, incoming. For incoming student permits, if you applied before November 1st, then the previous rules applies to you, right? Like
Mhm.
PGWP, kahit anong program na pag-aaralan mo, you're good. But like after November 1st, then specific programs na lang ang eligible for PGWP, and it mainly mga priority occupation like health, trades, transport, agriculture, and STEM. But and also like if you're applying after November 1st of last year, then para makasama yung SOWP mo, kailangan you're taking master's degree, you're taking doctoral degree, or maybe some specific mga bachelor's degree.
Okay. So, Mia, for the next question.
I'm checking lang here, right? So,
Okay.
you mentioned kanina, Miss Debbie, right, na um yung short courses, they can take short courses as long as they still apply for another student visa. Is that it? Or well, like meron silang existing, and if they want to take at least 6 months na short course, they have to get another type of visa
Student
just to be
permit.
safe.
Yes.
Okay. And is it okay to transition to a master's program in the same DLI and shorten the DBA program to CBA?
Yes, that's possible. You only have to inform IRCC of your plan. Like if you were initially approved for a DBA and then you want to switch to certificate now, you'll have to inform IRCC. You'll have to web form them.
Got it. And Miss Debbie, how about yung kasi I remember kanina may question about Google certificates. Can they take courses like that
Online courses,
online?
I think
Mm-hmm.
so. If it's like ano ba, parang it will not lead to a diploma, right?
I think so. They're just waiting for PGWP or naka-work permit sila.
Okay, pero it will not lead to a diploma or a certificate, like kung ano lang siya, like let's say 1 week certificate, I think that should be good. But like, tsaka pag online. Pero kung
Right,
halimbawa
right.
magte-take ka ng HTA, that's another story. So you really have to apply for a student permit unless you were there was a rule na in June 2023, June 7, 2023, if you have gotten a letter from IRCC and you had
Mm.
a open work permit, eligible ka to study without a student permit, and it's valid until end of 2026, June 2026. So if you have gotten that letter, then you should be good.
Oh, that's good for our OWP. That's good news.
Mm.
So that could
Yes,
be
but
also another strategy.
yeah, correct. And question lang kasi 'di ba our time is really limited and it's pressed, and I know that imagine we have 132 participants in this call, Miss Debbie. And everyone, I'm sure they have a question or two and then may follow-up questions pa yan and all. Time's not gonna be enough for you to answer all the questions, but I know that you have a contact information, or perhaps you can something up again at a different date or something that I'm not really sure, because I know for a fact that you can't really answer all the questions in a short period of time, like the time frame that we have right now for this meeting.
Right. So for like one question lang naman, I think like I can share you our information. Like
Yes, please.
you have questions,
Yes, please.
you can email us.
Miss Debbie, pag nag-email ba or initial question, may bayad na agad? Sana wala naman muna.
Grabe naman.
Okay.
Kung isang,
Safe
sorry,
lang. Ganun.
kung isa lang naman, kung isang question, I don't mind answering it as long as you don't mind waiting for the answer. Kasi like I
Yeah.
have a lot of emails, and so it's really hard for
Sure.
me to answer everything at once. So yun, yeah, if you have only one question, I don't mind answering it. But like if you have given me like 5 questions in one email, hindi ko na kayang sagutin yun. Oh, isa-isa.
Right. So,
But yeah,
there is
Five
another
questions in
question.
one email. Gawin ni Miss Debbie, no? Replyan niyo with the rates na meron siya. Parang, this is my rate for ganito. Diba?
Yeah, right.
Para ano lang din. Win-win situation, kumbaga.
oo. And then also, like you can, we have our page, Multicultural Immigration. Napakasipag ng ng marketing staff ko. Talagang nag-a-answer naman siya hanggat sa abot ng makakaya niya. So if you have, if you have short questions, I think she is capable to answer it. And also, if she doesn't know about it, she always contacts me naman. So, yeah, you can message our Multicultural Immigration Facebook page or yung sa TikTok namin. We also have that. But yeah, email is also good, or you can even call us. Pero wag niyo naman like if it's a few question again, we don't mind answering it.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for your kindness and generosity. And by the way, tonight is Miss Debbie is very generous with her time, so she is doing this for free to UVic Philippine community in Victoria. So we are really honored and happy to have you tonight, Miss Debbie.
Always po. It's a pleasure. It's an honor po.
Yeah, so for those who are attending this session, so I hope you will contact Multicultural Immigration because Debbie is an expert immigration consultant and she has lots of let's say clients who have already been PR. And also, I have one more question, Ms. Debbie. Is it also a good strategy wherein yung mga OWP, pag sila na naman mag-aral para magiging international student sila sa mga targeted, let's say, programs ni Canada. And then uh, yung mga IS ngayon, sila naman ang magiging OWP.
Okay. Ano yan, towards the end, sige, towards the end of your PGWP, it could be an option. Pero like, patapusin mo muna yung 3 years nyo bago nyo gawin yon. Pero there is a negative effect dyan. Kasi
Oh,
magsuswitch kayo, right?
yes,
So,
yes.
under the immigration rules kasi ng regulations, so, kung sino yung first foreign national na nag-apply sa family ninyo, yun lagi ang foreign national forever sa lahat ng temporary resident application nyo. So what would be the impact? So si principal applicant, si student normally, right? So every
Yes.
temporary resident application, siya dapat lagi ang principal applicant. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if nag-switch kayo, si SOWP na ngayon ang mag-aaral, siya
Correct.
na ang principal applicant,
Mm-hmm.
si spouse affected kasi hindi niya pwede sponsor ngayon as SOWP yung dating student
Oh,
kasi initially yung dating student yun yung principal applicant.
aha.
Okay, so merong ganoon po.
So kahit talabas pa ng bansa sila, kahit talabas ng Pilipinas, tapos mag-lodge ulit ng bagong student permit.
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, because they're the same
Although,
family.
pero although like I've heard, pero this is not a story of mga international students, pero this is most popular, or it is most common sa mga TFWs. Although I've
Mm-hmm.
heard na there are some TFWs, and I experienced it also, na meron akong TFW na nag-switch sila, but then we received the SOWP pa din. Okay? So,
Okay.
no, because of all the changes in immigration, even the immigration officers, litong-lito na din sila. So, sometimes nakakalusot. Yeah, I had a client na nakalusot. So, it, But if we're talking about regulation, this is the regulation. Na whoever is the temporary foreign national in a family application, siya ang laging principal applicant sa lahat ng preceding temporary applications.
Oh, okay. It's good to know that.
Mm-mm.
So, merong questions dito. Okay. What if mag-aaral lang to get a valid status and to get the PGWP pero hindi naman kami kukunin as SOWP since valid pa yung PGWP namin? Pwede yon? So, this is a question. What if mag-aral yung mga OWP to get a valid status lang and to get the postgraduate work permit pero hindi naman kukunin yung mga SOWP since valid pa yung PGWP namin yung mga current students. Hindi sila gagawing SOWP kasi valid pa yung PGWP. It's okay, right?
Yeah, it's fine, yes.
Mm. Okay, so are more other questions here?
Alright. Yeah, meron pa tayo yatang question dito sa anong slide.
Yeah, go ahead. Arvin as our UPC president.
Yeah, you can read na
Okay.
sa slide.
Kailangan po ba ng 2 years experience na align sa construction para sa construction stream? Or pwede na mag-apply as soon as ma-register sa apprenticeship?
Okay. This is a BCPNP question. Is that okay if I answer this?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead,
Okay.
please.
So sa BCPNP, there is what you call skilled worker stream, okay? For you to become eligible for a skilled worker stream, kailangan mo ng experience, skilled work experience, meaning tier 0, 1, 2, or 3 na experience abroad or in Canada, and it doesn't need to be directly related. Which means, sa construction stream, kasi it's under skilled worker stream pa rin, under the umbrella of skilled worker stream. So you don't need 2 years of experience sa construction. You only need 2 years of experience within the last 10 years na skilled. Tier 0,
Okay.
1, 2, or 3.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, there are some attendees who have said that you should shout out to the organization. We'll definitely contact Miss Debis for consultation. So we already have some clients here, potential clients. So there is another question here about BCPNP. For BCPNP, need po ba ng 1 year experience under BCPNP Tech or job offer lang po need na full-time?
It's the same idea doon sa sinabi ko under skilled worker stream. Kasi BCP-NP Tech is not a separate stream. It's an umbrella, parang it's the same, parang priority occupation lang siya. Ganoon. So you still have to qualify for the 2 years skilled work experience. So to answer that question, kailangan ba may 1 year related experience ka sa tech? Not necessarily. Right? Hindi necessarily, para maging eligible ka, hindi necessary na meron kang 1 year of experience, pero your points might not be enough to get an invitation if you don't have related experience.
That's true. Okay, the question on the screen is how can a student extend the stay of their dependents in Canada if they are not employed in any eligible tier occupations?
This is another sad story. Unfortunately, you can explore other options like maybe student permit na lang si spouse, or maybe maghahanap ng LMIA for him or for the spouse, or maybe magvi-visit.
Oh, okay. And how long can a person stay as a visitor here?
It's up to the officer, but it could range normally 6 months. I have application approved for 2 years. I have application approved for a year. So it really
Oh,
depends on the officer and how you position your explanation.
okay. That's a good insight, po.
Opo. Pero baka lang lahat mag-visitors na ha. This is worst case scenario. Don't never, don't apply for a, parang don't convert from a work permit to a visitor unless you don't have an option. Like, this is your last resort.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that will be uh the last resort then. Okay, so do we have more questions? So our session will end by 7:30, so it's 1 hour. So I'll be reading some questions here in the chat box. Okay. If we do get a job under tier 01 or selected tier 2 and 3, pwede po bang mag-part-time or casual lang? Or need po full-time or indefinite offer para ma-extend ang SOWP?
That's a really good question. Hindi kailangan full-time ka.
Oh,
Kailangan lang tier 0, 1, 2, or 3. Eligible to tier
oh,
2 and 3. Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so it doesn't have to be full-time and also, does it have to be like a regular or let's say permanent offer or casual lang? Pwedeng casual lang
Yeah,
si
casual.
SOW.
Yeah, casual is fine. As long as you have like a tier 0, 1, 2, or 3 occupation. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
That's good to know.
Eric, can we focus on the screen question? Kasi ito
Yeah,
yung
okay.
registered
Sure.
question bago eh.
Okay, if the student's job is classified as Tier 2, specifically Records Management Technician in OC 12112, which is not included in the priority list, but the job description contains two tasks listed under the Tier 1 role of Technical Writer in OC 51112, is it possible to claim the job as Tier 1?
Um, so ganito po siya. Like, if you feel that like, mas, di ba, 51112 is a eligible occupation, right? It's a tier 1
Mm-hmm.
occupation. So, why not position your job, yung roles mo, gawin mong tier 55112 rather than 12112. Kasi the officer will not be looking at the title. They will be looking at the responsibilities.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so even if you have like a records management technician role in the letter,
Mm-hmm.
but then the occupations is nasa it aligns better sa technical writer, then you can
Mm-hmm.
still claim the 51112.
Oh, that's a good insight.
Mhm.
Okay. So by the way, lahat ba ng managerial position is tier zero? Like any kinds of managerial position from different industry?
Yes,
So in that case, kahit let's say mga manager ng cleaning services, so they can also be classified as tier zero, right?
that's
Okay.
correct.
So if an applicant applies for a common law partner's SOWP under postgraduate work permit, what specific documents are required to prove the common law relationship? Oh.
So dapat meron kayong 1 year of cohabitation. So you can prove it by means of getting a joint account, kung meron kayong mga joint assets, if you have a lease agreement na for a
Mhm.
year na already, and then if you have the same IDs, mga addresses, and then lahat ng mga siguro mga padala, and also mga pictures together, and even your conversation, and also halimbawa yung mga online orders na parehas yung address, that also will help demonstrate na meron kayong common law relationship.
Yeah, that's I think it's also in the IMM form. And also another thing that is required in the IMM form is to have an insurance or in which your common law partner is your beneficiary as well. Right, Miss Debbie?
That's right, yes.
Okay. Uh, there is a question here. How do you prove your experience from another country within tier 0, 1, 2, or 3?
But certificate of employment, if you have pay slips, contract, So, and then of course, a letter from the employer stating your responsibilities would definitely help.
Okay. Another question is, if my employer is a federal crown corporation and cannot provide a business license or incorporation documents, can I still proceed with my BCPNP application?
Yeah, so if the corporation is a parang government owned corporation,
Mhm.
then yes, although selected lang. Meron specific lang sa BCPNP, as long as halos lahat naman ng government corporation, they are eligible. It's just that most of these corporations are not allowed or not even comfortable providing support for BCPNP. But yeah, business license and even incorporation documents can be waived.
Okay. So here's another question. Should the salary align sa job position po ba dapat? Or like, let's say, a manager, the salary should be like 20 per hour or up po ba? Or does it matter the salary, for example, if you have a tier zero job, does it matter, uh, or does it affect your PGWP extension? I mean, sorry for the SOWP extension or application.
Mhm. I like if you're yes, it will matter. Kasi like halimbawa, you said that you're a manager and yet minimum wage earner ka, like 70 and 40 cents. I don't think the officer will buy it. No?
Yeah, so it's like
It will
inconsistency,
matter.
right?
Yes. Oo.
Mm,
But
okay,
if you're parang referring to the median wage, low wage, high wage, parang 'di ba there is a parang range of salary na ganyan.
right.
I don't think they will it would be they will be very specific doon, but still
Mhm.
it might matter. Mhm.
Yun nga, no? Kasi parang hindi masyadong kapanipaniwala kung manager ka tapos $20 per hour lang. So parang fabricated siya, no? It would appear like that.
Specific to the occupation yan. Like there should be you check the median wage of or
Okay.
the job range or wage range ng job para sigurado ka na eligible ka.
Okay. So will a restaurant managers or assistant managers working in tier 3 occupations, for example, food services, be eligible for SOWP under the new guidelines?
Yeah. Restaurant manager is a tier zero occupation, even assistant manager.
Okay, perfect. If a student works in a tier 4 occupation and applies for a PGWP, will their spouse SOWP application likely to be refused based on recent policy changes?
Yes, kasi tier 4 occupation is no longer an eligible occupation for applying as
Mhm.
a WP. So definitely yes, it will be refused.
Okay. For single applicants, could you provide an in-depth explanation of the requirements, including eligible tier, jobs, and application guidelines?
Good news yan sa principal applicant, huwag kayong sumali dito kasi hindi kayo affected. We're just talking about SOWP. So if you are a single applicant, you don't have to worry about getting a tier 0, 1, 2, or 3 occupation. When you apply actually for your PGWP, it would just ask for a letter of completion and your parang unofficial transcript, and that's basically it.
Correct. For a student approved in May 2024 with a visa expiring in July 2026, should they request an extension or adjust their courses to extend their status?
Oh, this is a good question. So, so if halimbawa matatapos ka after July 2026 and ang permit mo is until July 2026 lang, then you should request for an extension early, like 6 months early, para makasigurado ka na before July 2026, you have an extension na.
Okay, good. So I have another question, Debbie. Like for most of my batchmates, let's say we are now on our fourth term, or some are in the third term. So what can you advise? Is it advisable to fast track the program if it's a 5-term program? So is it advisable to fast track the program into 3 ter or 4 terms only
Uh,
nowadays with the recent changes?
I don't advise it. Just because sobrang dami. Ano siya eh, parang law of supply and demand. I feel
Mm-hmm.
it. This is just my opinion, ha? Okay, hindi siya like you should follow it. But like nagsisialisa na yung lahat. So maraming mawawala ng status. And so tas konti na lang yung papasok na students. And so kayo na medyo patapos pa lang, konti na lang yung kompetensya nyo. So baka mas mataas yung chance nyo. This is just me, okay?
Oh,
Oo, based doon sa yun nga, sa ano na analysis ng supply and demand. But I would suggest na hayaan niyo na lang, huwag niyo na i-fast track kasi makikigulo lang kayo sa mga naapektuhan ngayon. So I'd rather you wait
correct.
out a bit and then relax na lang muna.
True, true. Para mag-subdue yung storms.
Correct.
Okay. If a student's program completion is in April 2025 and they apply for a PGWP in May 2025, can their family OWP plus TRV apply at the same time? Or will the OWP application be considered an extension or a new application under the new guidelines?
Completion is in April 2025
Mm,
tapos mag-apply ng PGWP in
May
May.
2025.
Uh,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So yes, it's ano, it's an extension, new application,
Mm,
yes. And you are ano, bound sa new guidelines. Kasi you will be applying pa lang eh, right?
Correct.
Mm-mm.
Mhm. For the BCPNP, what does directly related work experience entail? Does it require the same NOC code or tier level, or would a similarity in job descriptions be sufficient to meet the criteria?
Directly related experience means parehas ng NOC code
Mhm.
or it's an NOC the NOC is higher or at the same level. Yung tier level is higher or the same level para ma-consider siya as directly related work experience. Halimbawa, in the Philippines, you were a manager, food
Mhm.
service manager, and then here you are a food supervisor. So any experience you had in the Philippines na manager ka, because it's a higher tier compared to what you have now, supervisor, it's a tier 2 occupation, then you can claim it as directly related experience. Okay? Pero,
Okay.
halimbawa, um, yung occupation mo is supervisor in the Philippines and then you are offered a managerial position, then it's not directly related experience. Kasi mas mataas yung offer sa'yo ngayon kaysa sa dati mo.
Okay. Good. Good to know that. So I think this will be our last question. So because we only have 2 minutes left, there's news about laying off more than 3,000 IRCC employees. How will this impact policies, processing times, etc.?
Um,
Is it true?
yes. There is like I heard about this, but I'm not sure how true to.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi parang 'di ba parang konti na lang yung ipa-process nila. That's the ano, right? That's the goal.
Oh,
Oo. So, in terms of processing, definitely, they will be looking at, so kung konti na lang yung workers, of course, it would affect the processing time, right? But,
okay.
so policy changes, there could be some impact, but really, wala tayo I'm not in the position to really, answer this because this is sa background ng immigration, ng IRCs. So, yeah.
Right. Parang nagka-domino effect, ano?
Oo.
Yeah. Mas Debbie, nandyan ba yung secretary mo para mag-flash or mag-share sa screen nila yung ano, yung page, Facebook page nyo, yung mga social media nyo, at
Alam
saka
niyo
yung
ba
mga
ang
services?
process, Debbie?
I actually have a PowerPoint.
Yes, please.
I think I have it. So, but we don't have our contact information here. Yeah. We have our contact information here. So, just
May
Yes,
last question
oh,
kami, Miss Debbie.
for sure.
Is possible daw bang option para sa permanent residence ang business
Oh,
if
of
you're
course.
under PGWP na?
So, pwede ka bang mag-business na lang?
Oo.
Yeah, you can. Pero it would require a lot of money. Like, for if you're looking into business, immigration, we have BCPNP entrepreneurial stream. So you need an investment of 250,000, and then you have to have a net worth of 600,000. So
Oh
yeah,
my God.
that can be an option.
That's a lot.
Pero meron at meron talaga na ganyan.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Miss Debbie, kung baka may sasabihin ka pa dyan tungkol sa slides mo or, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Ano lang, so pla ang pinaka ano ba, we have immigration news. I think this is more of wala na naman 'tong problema kasi we've tackled about this. But just a reminder that, starting November 8, kung yun nga yung sinabi ko kanina, student permit
Mhm.
ka, kailangan, kung mag-change ka ng DLI or kung magpaplano ka na mag-study to another DLI, you have
Mhm.
to apply for another student permit, regardless if it's below 6 months or 6 months, just to be safe. Okay? Kasi
Okay.
naghihigpit yung IRCC and you don't want to risk this para lang sa for a few bucks, right?
Okay.
And then, so I think we've tackled everything.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
yeah. I think we have everything. But like, if you have other questions, you can contact us after this session.
Yan, mag-take na tayo ng photo first.
Yeah, photo tayo para ma-flag din sa page nila, Miss Debbie.
Yes.
Sige. Thank you.
Pa-open na po ng mga camera.
Pa-open ang mga camera nyo po, yung mga attendees.
Ikaw na, Eric, screenshot.
Okay. Ikaw na, press. President, sige na.
Nawala yung option ng ko sa laptop ko.
Ikaw, Melissa, paki-take ng screenshot.
Alam ni Arvin na hindi ako magaling sa ganyan.
Oh.
So,
Si Miss Debbie ang gitna. Saan ba yung parang natin? Saan ba yung parang...
teka,
Yeah.
tingnan ko ha. Sige.
By the way, guys, naka-post na rin ang contact information ni Miss Debbie sa chat box. And that's multicultural immigration. So there is a contact number and an email as well. And there is also a Facebook page. So for those who are really interested, please contact them because Debbie is really an expert IRCC consultant.
I-plug ko lang din tomorrow, UPC will be having game night sa UBIC. So, kita-kita tayo bukas.
Okay. Arvin, go.
Walang option, promise.
Naka-screenshot na ako.
Ayun,
Naka-screenshot ka na, Debbie? Okay, perfect. Ikaw ang gitna. Okay.
Hindi ako yung gitna. Pero sige.
Ulitin mo yung ikaw ang gitna. Yan.
Paano? No, there is no option for me to, na ako yung gitna.
Okay. I think sa akin. Saglit lang. I-close ko
So,
lang
yun
tong
din. Sa mga hindi naka-attend or late na dumating, ipopost natin tong recorded sa natin, private group, saka sa YouTube.
Yes.
So, yun.
Yeah, kasama yung details ni Miss Debbie.
Yes, kasama
Multicultural
yung details ni
immigration.
Miss Debbie.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for your generosity in sharing your talent, your knowledge, and your time to all the participants. It was really helpful and insightful for us this evening, especially that we are really bothered by this new policies of the IRCC.
Thank you, Miss
And
Debbie.
No worries po.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
May
Miss
God bless
Debbie.
you 100-fold.
Salamat po. Have a great night, everyone.
Susunod
Thank
po
you.
ulit.
Oo, for sure. Yung may
Bye.
Bye, Miss Debbie. Thank you,
Bye
everyone, for
po.
your participation. And please
Thank you
don't forget
po.
to contact Multicultural Immigration. Have a
Yes.
good
Thank
evening.
you.
Bye-bye.
Recording.